Well, here's where they are. Kirk Cousins has a visit set up with the Minnesota Vikings. That is expected to be tomorrow night. He's going to fly in. He's going to have dinner with coaches and other essential personnel, and then tour the brand new facility on Thursday. And this visit is important because he wants to make sure he has a good rapport with the coaches, has a good rapport with the personnel staff, and really everyone involved with the Vikings. There is an offer out to him. It's 3 years, $28 million per year. That is fully guaranteed, which is huge because there has never been, to my knowledge, a multi-year, fully guaranteed deal for a quarterback. $28 million per year, again, which would make him the highest paid quarterback in NFL history on a fully guaranteed deal. That plan is for Kirk Cousins to sign this if all goes well with the visit. So, of course, as the Vikings zero in on Kirk Cousins, the other teams involved, the Arizona Cardinals, the New York Jets, they are simply left wondering where their quarterback is going to be and forced to move on to plan B. So it certainly seems for both sides, for Kirk Cousins and for the Minnesota Vikings, this is going to be a match. And we will find out for sure on Thursday, but that is absolutely the plan from all involved.
How, if at all, did the Keenum deal in Denver affect this deal for Cousins?
Well, it did have an effect because it was one fewer suitor, but from my understanding, the actual offer didn't really change. It's not like it would have been, say, 29 or 30 million had the Broncos been involved, but because the Broncos were not involved, now it's 28 million. And by the way, they're still kind of trying to figure out the number and dancing around and trying to work it in different ways, but it doesn't sound like the Keenum deal actually affected Cousins. The only thing that really changed was the Broncos basically peeled off from the hunt for Kirk Cousins and decided to sign Case Keenum. Once that happened, the Broncos knew they were out. Keenum knew he had a place. And Cousins, nothing really changed because it certainly seemed like the Vikings were his spot all along.
What, if anything, does this effect have on the payroll for the Vikings if they want to get other free agents and draft picks signed there with this contract that Kirk Cousins has in front of him?
Well, it does give a big hit to their cap space, although honestly, if you look at this team, it's not like they really need to do a whole lot. It's not like they really need to say, all right, well, we need these receivers. They got receivers. They got a tight end. They got a revamped offensive line. They got a nasty defense with a lot of guys who've been paid and a lot of guys who are waiting to get paid, including Anthony Barr, Danielle Hunter, and on and on. This is a really good, ready-made team. It's really good. And everyone wants new things in free agency, but it's not like they would have used the money to make their team better. It's hard to imagine them finding free agents who'd be better than what they have on the roster. The Vikings really just needed a quarterback, and they're about to get a quarterback.
And Mike Garafolo, this seems to be a perfect match here between Kirk Cousins and the Vikings with, as Ian mentioned, everything in place for him there, including a great defense.
There's no question. I would not be surprised if we find out that there were stronger financial offers. Maybe we know how much cap room that the Jets have, so let's see what comes out down the line as we find out the pitches that some of these other teams made. But the things that we said leading up to free agency, leading up to the combine about the Vikings roster, the fact that they play indoors, the fact that they have not only a strong defense but also weapons for Kirk Cousins on offense, as well as a good offensive line. They went out and addressed that in free agency last year. And like Ian said, it's ready-made for Kirk Cousins to come in and compete. And that's why those other teams that were involved, Denver, Arizona, the Jets, Ian heard it at the Combine. I heard it at the Combine. They were worried that some of the things that we were saying were going to wind up being right as far as the Vikings being the team that was in the driver's seat. A lot of them were hearing that it was already done. It wasn't already done, but obviously for Cousins, all these factors with Minnesota were huge for him, and that's why coming into this, the Vikings were the team that I truly believed was the team to beat